Welcome back into Studio A, TVC Fanatics. I'm your online host, Nathan Wiseman, joined by Andrew Homan tonight here on the Hardwood desk, here to break down this Eastern and Jackson game tonight. Tonight, the Lady Eagles took down the Lady Ironmen by a score of 48-21. Now, Andrew, the score was 10-6 after the first quarter, and this second quarter was a little lackluster, to say the least.
That's right, Nathan. The first point of the second quarter wasn't scored until the 3:51 mark, and that was a foul shot from Jackson's Casey Jenkins. The first basket wasn't made for another 30 seconds, that one by Jackson as well. I have a feeling that these Lady Eagles were just anxious tonight, you know? Their shots weren't falling as well as they normally do, and so they were getting impatient, and that led to 4 travels in that second quarter. These are turnovers that should not be happening with such a talented team. Coach Burdett said after the game that these girls need to learn to compete for 32 minutes, and if they don't, it's going to be an issue come later in the season.
Yeah, you know, Andrew, Elizabeth Collins, she had a little trouble with causing some fouls tonight, but Hannah Behringer really stepped up in her place. What'd you see out of her tonight?
You know, Collins had 4 fouls on the night, and Behringer really came into her own. 5 of her 6 rebounds were on the offensive end. She had second chances to keep them in the game, especially in that second quarter drought. She's a very underrated player for the Eastern. She was one of 2 players on the team to reach double digits on the night.
Hannah's a basketball player that you don't really realize what she did during that game until you sit back and look at her body of work. I mean, that's just the type of player she is.
At one point, I heard the Eagles talking during a dead ball, and I heard the end of a sentence from Behringer. She said, "Even if I forget." You know, she's going to keep herself in check, but if she forgets, she knows that her teammates are there to help her out and make sure that she's in the right place at the right time to help her team win.
Yeah, you know, Behringer keeping her team in line, but again, fouls were still hurting this Eastern team. Laura Pullins caught a little bit of the foul bug tonight, but Madison Williams, man, she stepped up in her place. What'd you see out of Madison tonight?
Madison Williams, she does not play like a freshman. But let's be real here, none of these Lady Eagles play like their own age. They play about 3 or 4 years older. She, like her team, struggled during the first half. You know, she was 0 of 4 from inside the arc during those first 16 minutes. But in the second half, she really redeemed herself, had a lot better shot selection, and a lot better shots. She was 3 of 5 inside the arc. So definitely 2 completely different halves for her. She's becoming an all-around player. That's one thing that I'm noticing. She had 9 rebounds on the night, and something that both her and Pullins do when they get those rebounds, they immediately look up, look down court for a teammate so that they can get the ball moving. They really executed on the fast break tonight. And if they can do those same types of things during the first 16 minutes of their game, this is going to be a scary matchup for TVC opponents.
Yeah, you know, definitely scary for other TVC opponents because this Eastern squad hasn't lost a single game since 2015. Thanks a lot tonight, Andrew. Now remember, TVC fans, you can check us out on the web over at woub.org/heroes. While you're on the web, check us out on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. Give us a like on Facebook as well at Hardwood Heroes. You can also check out our pictures over on Instagram at WOUB Sports. For Andrew Homan, I'm Nathan Wiseman, reminding you to be heroic.